Welcome to the Tonya Hofmann's fabulous TV show. I am your host, Tonya Hofmann. And as always, we have incredible guest stars. And today is no different because we have Maura Sweeney. Hey, Maura.
Tonya, how are you? And thanks for having me on.
Oh my gosh, y'all are going to adore her as I do. And you know, there's some people that you're just like, click, yes. And so y'all are going to totally dig her. So before we get started with her, just a reminder that we are looking for you. We want you to shine your brilliance and have you part of the Public Speakers Association so you can go out there and change the world from the front of the room. So find out how you too can get your message out there, get your name known, get all over the place and have a lot of fun. Go to Public Speakers with an S Association, all spelled out.com for more info. Alrighty, everyone, so let's get into it. So, Maura, tell us a little bit about you and what fabulous going on for you nowadays.
Well, we know my name is Maura Sweeney. My website is Maura for you, number 4, letter U, because no matter who you are, I am for you. I always like to say I came from what's whole, not from what's divided. You know how most of the world is always divided? It's I've got to be afraid of you, or I have to be opposed to you because you're not exactly like me. From the time I was little, I saw everybody as an extended relative, as someone who could be different from me, but somebody that I could learn from, get friendly with. And that is at the heart and the base of everything I do today. So I'm a speaker. We were just talking before we went live that my husband and I are planning a 23-day trip. We start in a few weeks. We will be in 5 countries, and I will be speaking, I want to say like 15 times at different universities and leadership groups and national television. And I always bring the same message. It goes right into what you're talking about here, Tonya. It is, you are a brilliant person. That's who you are from within. And wherever you are, wherever you find yourself in life, know that you're a person of influence. So that means you've got something within you with whomever you're intersecting with, where you can bring out the brilliance, or you can bring out the best. You can live, my mantra, live happily or happy from the inside out. Raise everyone else's sense of identity, everyone's sense of possibility. And that's really what I do. I speak about leadership and influence and helping other people see their brilliance. Because this is what I believe. When people could recognize their own brilliance and learn to appreciate themselves, somewhere in there, they can also extend that mind sight, that eyesight, that heart sight to seeing the brilliance and the incredible gifts in everybody else. And I think as a result, we end up with a world that gets better and brighter and more unified. And we definitely need it these days. I don't know if there's anybody that would disagree with that.
Well, and I think too, you know, especially nowadays, most, you know, you see it happening where people feel like their power is gone, that they have, you know, little influence over the politics and the government and this and that, when actually they have massive results. Because if we look at just in our own life and the people that we can connect to, I always tell people, be the plop, right? You can't cause a ripple effect if you don't plop yourself, right?
You are right. You know something? This is amazing. And thank you to our mutual friend, Frankie Picasso up in Canada for connecting us. Because do you know, I've spoken about that? The little pebble. People can all relate to that. You may feel like you're this little pebble, but if you look at the ripple effect, it's unbelievable. The other word you used that I love too, when you said people feel powerless. People are taught, I think, and I think it's probably part of most societies, to feel powerless because from the time we're little, we're told by our parents how to eat. We're told by our school teachers how to write, where to sit, what to study. We're told by our bosses what to do. We're told by all the authorities the way things are. And so in that process, we see ourselves as such a small and powerless entity rather than someone who said, you know what? Here I am in my section of the earth. It could be around our family, our community, our schools, our friends, our neighbors, the people at the local grocery store, people that we work with. One life, one remark, one change in attitude can end up impacting the lives of so many other people in such great ways, and we never think that way.
I know. One of the things that people, they just see what we are right now. And I remember that moment. I'm like, well, I'm just little Tonya. How can I change anybody? Because I can't even change myself, right? I love showing people the picture of me. This was me as an introvert in 2005. This was me about to explode and create that plop, right? Jump in and dive deep so that it creates the biggest splash. But it took me forever to realize that I could even create one little ripple. But it had to start with myself.
That is so amazing to hear. And thank you for doing what you're doing. Do you know sometimes this is what people don't understand? And I knew I was like this. I would always wait for someone else as a leader to go ahead to give me permission so I could walk through a door, whatever that door meant. And I always thought there's a better world out there. So somebody in some arena is going to do it. And I found so much of the world is like this cul-de-sac. They go around and around. And I had to decide when I was in my 50s, I'm going to step out. I'm going to be an example of that person who puts herself out there, who jumps off the, you could say jumps off the cliff or jumps off the end of the gangplank, gets out in the water and says to everybody, come on in, it's okay. When we decide we want to be that person, we literally, it's like we take, if the world looks like this, we do this to it. We turn things upside down. And when we do it, that energy that we use and that expression that we have inspires and encourages other people to do the same thing. And I really believe if we were to live from our insides, we live from our heart space rather than from, I came from this group, or, I'm, whatever it may be, whatever that box may be, when we live from within our hearts, suddenly we unite the human race. We see ourselves, our talents, our abilities, our messages, our stories, our creativity, and it just turns other people on. And it's so, you know what it does? This is interesting. It gives us more energy. When we're happier, we're more creative. And it's like we literally live with this, I want to say, like, remember the helium balloon effect? It picks you up. But if we are that introvert, if we always think we're powerless, then it's like walking around the earth with a ball and chain. But when we decide we're going to be the other side of it, yeah, it might be challenging. We got to step out of the comfort zone. But the big thing about it, Tonya, is that uplift brings everybody else of like mind and like heart along with you. It's very powerful.
Well, and you really have to look at, for myself, I had to realize that I had to create my own reality. I was always trying to find out who is Tonya, instead of just create who I wanted to be, create the relationships. Anytime something's like, oh man, this is hard, or this person isn't doing the right thing, or my husband's not romantic, and what am I doing about it, right? Instead of just blaming other people, create your own reality. Create the person that you want and the life you want, because you can.
Are we talking the same language? This is hysterical. It's so much alike, but we use our own viewpoints to do it. Do you know when I graduated from high school, I was chosen to give what do they call it? The graduation speech, commencement speech. And I called mine From Dreams to Reality. And here's why. There were kids in my graduating class that were looking at high school graduation as like, oh, the best years of our lives are behind us. And I'm like, wait a minute. We are now just stepping into a place where we can determine who we want to be. Before this, we had to answer to everybody. Now we move into that place of self-determination. The other thing is this. Everybody can believe an old story that they bought into, but very few people, although there's more and more coming out, that are willing to say, you know what? There's more to me. There are things within me that I do want to bring out, and we can change our reality. I talk about these things, but I've spent decades learning it, living it, and now I share it. But that is a truism that goes back centuries. So we can either be a product of the way we're brought up or whatever we think we believe, or we can be a product of something that's glorious and brilliant within. And little by little, work it out, check it out, work for new venues where we can express ourselves, and we literally become change agents for our own selves, but also for everybody else.
Exactly. I know, because I've had horrible things that have happened in the past, and I say, well, how dare they take away my power? And I'm like, How dare I let them take away my power? Let me own who I am. They don't define me. Those situations do not define me. Those experiences do not define what's going to happen in my future. Those are in the past. Let it go. Let's move on.
Tonya, you're right. Because you know what? Even in my, I don't really do too much in the way of one-on-one consulting. I'd rather kind of be out with people. But I did create a course called Foundations of Happiness. But one of the main things that I put in it was this. We only see ourselves in one of two ways. We think we may have like 1,000 problems that could happen in life. But guess what? With every challenge or problem or something that somebody did to us, we could only come up with one of two alternatives. Either I'm a victim in this, or I'm a beneficiary. And if you're a victim, then you do allow people to take your dignity. You allow them to take your power, whatever. But if you're a beneficiary, if you see yourself as a beneficiary in a benevolent universe, then guess what happens? Every possibility opens up. And the other thing I keep trying to tell people, you said you've had challenges in your background. I've had multiple challenges, but what I realized is that I could use my challenges as stepping stones to overcome some of my former mental baggage, some of the things I told myself, some of the weaknesses, and literally use those things as catalysts to get over myself and find my bigger self on the inside. It is the same concept you're speaking of.
I know, it's fantastic. It's just like, ah! So y'all can see why I love this woman. Okay, so tell us, what do you have? Because I know you've got something special for our guest today.
I do. I just mentioned the Foundations of Happiness course, which could take you a month to get through. You could read it, you could watch it, because there are videos, there's things to listen to, there are reflective questions. Anyone who would like to go to my website, maura4u.com, and go to my course, The Foundations of Happiness, you could get a 25% discount if you enter in the code that belongs to you. And it's called Fabulous, because you're watching Tonya Hofmann's fabulous TV show. And you'll get a 25% discount. But it's one of those things that helps you move from, oh, I feel like a victim, or I'm really small, and literally move into your personal idea of your destiny. But the other things I'd love to offer, which are even a lot of fun, is a free access to one of two of my books in my Art of Happiness series. I wrote one on exiting the comfort zone. So let's say you showed the picture of you, Tonya, before you stepped out. I was in the same place. It's like, okay, am I going to show my face, or am I going to hide behind the curtains? And I have one book called Exiting the Comfort Zone and the other book called Influence. Both of those books, you have to write to me for one of them. I will give to you for free. And it's Maura at maura4u.com. But both of those books, they're story-based, and they will help get inside your mind, help get inside your heart, and really remind you of your own brilliance and inspire you to step out and be that person outside the comfort zone, your own brilliant self, and become a person of positive influence.
Awesome. So jump on that opportunity right now. Remember, Maura is M-A-U-R-A. And is that the number 4 or F-O-R?
No, it's number 4. Letter U, maura4u.com. And you could write to me, Maura at maura4u.com.
Perfect. All right, everyone. So get to know Maura immediately, because hello, and take advantage of her amazing offers, because, this could really change your life. And this is what this is all about, is allowing you to start shining your fabulousness. So thank you, Maura, for joining us today. Thank you, everyone. We will see you next time with an amazing new guest star. But yes, definitely get connected with me and Maura. You can find us on social media too. All right. Thanks, Maura. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for having me. Bye.